If you guys are lacking coins for all the new cards that are coming out right now, then check out IG Vault in the link down below. It's so easy to buy for them and they're by far the quickest site around. They even update you as your coins go in. Use code Kurt for 6% off. If, like me, you're addicted to Pokemon Go or want a quick way to catch up with your friends, then check out PokeStopForYou.com with the link down below. They provide egg hatching, they can level you up, even catch a specific Pokemon if you need one. They're 100% legit, and if you use code Kurt, you now get 10% off. What's up guys, Kurt here, and welcome to a brand new FIFA 16/FIFA 10 video. Today, we have another one of those videos where we're going to look back at some FIFA 10 players and see how much they've changed from then till now. Today, we have a really cool episode, but before we get into that, I have a couple quick things I want to say. Firstly, I'm sure you guys saw the 7-minute squads video that went up yesterday. I didn't have as much chance to talk to you guys one-to-one when someone else is there. It's always a little bit tricky. So I wanted to quickly say a couple of things. Thank you guys so much for the support on last week's 2 videos. It's mental. The views are crazy. I think both of them are already getting close, if not over, to 200k views, which is mental. And apologies for the lack of uploads this week. I had some problems with my camera and it's all sorted. We've got a new one. We're all good. Back to the grind. As you're going to see, we had the 2 videos this weekend and we're going to keep it up. So, you guys went mental over the FIFA 10 Wonderkids video, and I was looking at just a bunch of Wonderkids just to see how they came on. Some of them were obviously sick now, some of them meh. This week I thought we would just look at Wonderkids that basically failed completely. Most of these are players with a potential of 85 or higher in FIFA 10, and we're going to look at see how they've got on. Now, none of these have reached their potential. Not one of them has even come within 3 or 4 ratings of it. And we're just going to see if they've been anywhere near as good or fulfilled any of the potential that they were supposed to have. Now, of course, you guys may think some of these guys have lived up to their potential, but I'm going off the fact that if they have an 86 potential and the highest ever card 76, they've not really fulfilled their potential, if you get what I mean. So, without further ado, let's get into the first one. I just really quickly wanted to add this in earlier on, guys. I just want to say, if you guys have any ideas for other FIFA 10 stuff you want to see, stick it in the comments down below. Do you want to see a particular team, what they looked like back then, other players that didn't reach their potential, players that did? Really interesting stuff. Let me know what you guys think and maybe we can get it done. So let me know in the comments down below. So they aren't all like this one, but bear with me. So Demore, this first guy, for some reason he doesn't actually have a card on FIFA 10, but he was one that I honestly have never heard of and I thought it'd be really interesting just to mention real quick. So I will put a screenshot on the screen right now. His FIFA, which is that's where all the FIFA ratings are. In FIFA 10, he apparently had a card at RC Strasbourg that had 65 rating and a potential of 88. Now, I don't know anything about him. I'm not sure if you guys know anything about Loic Demore. I personally know nothing about him at all, but apparently he had this crazy stats, but he doesn't have a FIFA 10 card. So that's why he's just the first one on the bench. I thought we'd get it done. But we have Delfonso, who had the 75 rated card. In career mode, he was 74 rated with 85 potential. It's safe to say he never really met that potential. He's still a super pacey player, a really good young player. But of course, he was at Aston Villa. We all know the time with him and Bon Lahore there. Never really reached what he was supposed to reach. Next up, we have Per-Siljan Skjelbred. What a flipping name. That's such a cool name. He had a potential of 86, which is absolutely insane. He was 75 rated though. So in all this time, in 4 years, whatever it is, he's improved basically nothing. He's not really gained at all. He's got a 1 rating and that is literally it, which is absolutely just so disappointing. His FIFA 10 actual career mode rating was 72, despite having the 75 rated card. His 75 rated FIFA 10 card though looks mental. Imagine having that card now, would be absolutely insane. 4-star weak foot as well. Next up, we have Josie Outdoor. This guy had 85 potential and there was a lot of buzz around him back in the day. 19 years of age when he had this FIFA 10 card at Hull City. Sorry, I'm looking over there. I've got all the information there. There's no way I'm going to store all of these stats in this brain. But Outdoor obviously was at Hull. He was very on and off. He had a crazy time at AZ Alkmaar and banked in a load of goals, but was never really that good in England or anywhere that impressive. But yeah, very, very cool card. 80 pace. I bet he had a ton of strength as well. And yeah, he had 85 potential. Definitely did not hit that at all. Next up, we have Adrian. Now, some would argue he's done okay at times. He's been at some big clubs, but really, he never really hit the heights. He had a 74 rated silver card, and he had a potential of 84, which is pretty good. That's a high potential for someone like that. And he never reached it. It's fair to say. I think you guys can all agree. I mean, this is not a card I would want to use. Low work rates, How lazy can you be? That's pretty actually terrible. Next up we have Alexander Cochran. This guy doesn't actually have a FIFA 10 card, despite the fact he was on the FIFA 10 game. So he was on FIFA 10, so I can see he had an overall rating of 72 and a potential of 86. So he did have a very high potential, but for some reason he didn't have a FIFA 10 card, just a FIFA 11 card. So his FIFA 11 card is 71 rated, but a potential of 86 is pretty good. That's a pretty impressive potential, but obviously he's another one that's never really reached it. He's still got a chance. He's what, 25 right now, so it's not too young, not too old even, so still a chance to do it. There's always a link to him getting moves all around. I think it just takes one move to a big club and he could reach that potential, but as it stands, he's still like quite a way under the amazing player status it looked like he might have got. Next up we have Franco De Santo. This one is a very interesting one. He was at a few different clubs. I think he was on the books at Chelsea. He's always kind of been all over the place, and it's hard to say someone's not reached their potential when they've played internationally for their country on the big stage. But at the same time, when he's also only a 79 rated and he had a potential of 90, that was his FIFA 10 potential. This guy was basically tipped to be like the next like mental player. He's very tall. I didn't realise he was 6'4". So he's quite mobile for a big guy. But a 73 rated Blackburn Rovers card. The next season he had a Wigan card actually, which is quite cool. But definitely one of the failed Wonderkids, that is for sure. Next up is a player that I honestly did not know anything about. Like, I've never really heard of him, but apparently he had some crazy potential back in the day. So his name is Fiorillo. I'm not sure how you say it. Vincenzo Fiorillo. So he had a potential of 88 and a 69 rated like player thing in career mode. So he's not really changed his rating at all in all this time. He was a 70 rated Ultimate Team player, but he's always just been an absolute career mode beast, but never really fulfilled the potential. I don't know if it's because he's just not had his chance yet, but playing at Pescara, Pescara in the Serie B now, he was on the books at Sampdoria back in the day and never really fulfilled that crazy potential. Next up is Cana Akin. This guy actually, I believe he got a team of the season this season. Did he get one? No, he didn't. He's just got himself a move. A lot of people actually rate this guy really highly. He has just got a move to Inter Milan. But as you can see, he was playing at Galatasaray as a left winger, which is pretty cool. It was a 73 rated card with 85 potential, so some pretty big potential back in the day. He had a lot of like hype around him that he was going to be a big player. I mean, he's done a good job of kind of fulfilling it. A 78 rated player at Inter is okay, but when you're potential to be 85, think about how many 85 wingers there are. There's not really that many in the world, and if you're one of those, you're going to be a good player. You wouldn't say he's made it. He's moved back to left back. He's going to Inter. It's going to be interesting to see how he gets on, but I think for sure he's definitely not fulfilled the crazy potential he has. Now, our two centre-backs are quite interesting ones. So first up, we have Sydney. Now, this guy has kind of made a few moves around. He's been at Benfica. That was where his original card was. So we're going to show you his original card. It should be on the screen now, but he's been at Deportivo. I believe he actually got an inform this season. He's kind of moved around a little bit, but he had an 88 potential back in the day. Now, we can all agree he definitely did not hit it. He was a 20-year-old back then, and he's not looking so good now, is he? He's not really looking quite like a player of that stature. 88 potential is absolutely mental. It would make him one of the best centre-backs in the world, and there's no doubt that he has not reached that. I mean, if I don't really know much about him, he's definitely not one of the best centre-backs in the world. It's pretty mental that he's had such a fall from grace just like that. He's a player so highly rated, but never really made it. Next up, we have Brenno. This guy, this is mental. He had a potential of 90. He was playing at Bayern, obviously, as you can see by the card on the screen, with 80 pace, 80 defending, 82 heading. Looks out of this world. 19 years of age, 74 rated silver, and he had a potential of 90. He has gone up one rating in all this time, and he's back playing in Sao Paulo. Very sad to see. What a flipping cool card he would have been, but definitely not made anywhere near the shakes it looked like he was going to do. Next up is Fabio. I'm sure you guys have all heard Fabio, Rafael, the whole like combination sort of thing back in the day. Both brothers playing for Manchester United. He had a left wing back card back in the day. 68 rated isn't too bad, but he had a potential of 87. 87. He has not reached it. I think he had one gold card, maybe. In fact, I can tell you guys right now. He had one gold card for a few years. It was 75 rated for like 3 different seasons, always at United. So 75 is not bad. He's only gone down 1 from that. But when you have a potential of 87, does not come near it. I mean, he's not as good as his brother. There's no doubt about that. But to have a potential rating of 87, not even come close to it, you've got to be pretty gutted as a player. And 74 rated, I'm sure he's happy to be playing in the Championship. I'm sure he's making a lot of money. He's made a lot of money in the past. But yeah, 87 rated definitely wasn't that good. Now this one I think is really cool. Now this is a player that's not only like transformed into not a wonder kid, he's also just changed a lot of different things about him. So he now has a centre mid as his main card. Back in the day he was a striker for Bordeaux. He was also down as French, he didn't register as Senegalese. He still obviously had the Bordeaux card before he made his move this season. But it's crazy, he literally, I'm looking on his foothead page now. Apparently he started off at striker, then right wing, left mid, right mid, back to striker, then to centre mid again. He's been all over the place throughout his cards. Every card is completely different, and that's mental. He has most certainly not filled his potential. He had a potential of 85 back in FIFA 10, which is a pretty good potential. I don't think you can complain about that, but he's definitely not come near it. He's now got relegated with Newcastle. I don't know if he's going to be on the move or if Rafa's going to keep him. I'd be quite surprised if he gets into that team. He's still got a really solid squad, but he's a player that I don't think really did what they would have liked him to do. Now this one is definitely going to stir some trouble up. I know some Everton fans in particular will say, he's reached his potential, he's amazing. I think he's a good player, but he had a potential of 89 back in FIFA 10, and just by the sheer fact he's only an 80 rated card, he's most certainly not reached it. If you were to look at some of the other players with potentials that high, or ratings that high, he's not in that sort of class. So what's quite funny to me is he was a cam originally, and he was of course at Wigan. Wigan do love their Irish players. They've had a lot of good Irish players go through their books, and they've had a lot of good players full stop. Obviously Franco De Santo was there, who's on the bench. A lot of good players have gone through Wigan. But James McCarthy was a 68 rated card with an 89 potential, and that's incredible. And he really hasn't lived up to that sort of hype. I think this season he's been a little bit disappointed. Season before he was amazing. He was really solid for Everton. He is a good player, don't get me wrong. I know some of you guys will be like, he's a lot better than this, he's a lot better than this. Just chill out. Calm down. He's a good player, but he's not reached his wonder kid potential hype that he had around his name. Next up is Leroy Fair. Now this one I think is pretty cool. He's kind of like been okay for a while. That's about it. He's been linked with he's always been involved in the Dutch setup. Back then in FIFA 10 he had a final 74 rated card with an 85 potential, which is pretty good. That's a good potential. If you can reach 85 as a cam, you're happy. That means you'd be better than Snyder is at the moment and players like that. That's a really solid potential. You'd be happy. Not quite reached it, it's fair to say. He's been floating around a little bit. He was at QPR, and then he was at Swansea, and then he was but I think he's been on loan places, and it's a little bit all over the place. I'm not sure what the future holds for him. I think he was at Norwich last season as well when they got relegated, but he's been a very interesting player, but not really fulfilled the 84 potential that he had, which is a big potential. It's big boots to fill. Next up, we have one that I think is absolutely hilarious, and that is Fran Morita. This guy had so much hype around him. If you guys remember back when he was playing for Arsenal, the hype around this guy was insane. He had every big Spanish club was after him. Inter Milan, AC Milan, mental players were after him. Everyone wanted him. He had a potential of 85 in FIFA 10. I think the year before it was probably a little bit higher, because I think 08-09 was when the biggest hype was around him. But boy, did he flop. So he had a 72 rated card back when he was 19. That's not bad. You can't complain. 72 rated at that age is good. And everyone said, next Fabregas, all this, that. He's now playing for SD Huesca in the Liga Adelante. I know he had a time in Brazil. He's been all over the place, and honestly, what a flop this guy has been. Next up, we have an interesting one. It's one that I would never have considered a wonder kid, but apparently he had a potential of 86 back in FIFA 10. So that's a pretty high potential rating. That's pretty crazy. Now, to be 77, you can't really complain at that. He had a 72 rating back then, but I think it's safe to say he's not really been performing anywhere near the level he should be. A 77 is okay, but it's definitely not 85, 86 sort of levels that he was supposed to be touted to get. He was obviously on loan at, I think it was Swansea this season, or purchased or something. He was at Swansea. He's had a few different times at different places, but again, he's not one that really settled in. Quite often I say last, but most certainly not least. I feel like that's my saying in a lot of these episodes. I don't know why, but a lot of the time I save someone kind of mediocre for the end. Today, we're saving, without a doubt, the biggest wonder kid flop ever. And actually, there's two people I want to put in here. I want to put in Makeda, because I'm going to come back to it. And we're also going to put in Bebe. I don't know what Bebe's card is. Let me have a look. Okay, I guess that's why I didn't include Bebe. He had a 64 rated card, but he didn't have much potential. But Makeda is the true wonder kid flop. I'm sure you guys remember that mental goal he scored for United, and everyone was saying he's going to be the best striker in the world. He got so much hype around him. Absolutely insane. He had some ridiculous potential. He had such a cool card. He had some mental stats. I mean, let's just watch the goal really quick. Like, how cool is that goal? Like, absolutely amazing sort of stuff. I think it's so sick. And then he just went on to not really do a right lot, and he's now a 70 rated card playing for Nottingham Forest. I'm not sure if he's just been transferred there or what, but he's got a silver card in some different leagues and all that sort of thing, and he's kind of all over the place. But boys, that brings us to the end of this FIFA 10 Wonderkids episode. Let me know what other stuff you would like to see around FIFA 10, because I really love looking back at it, and I know you guys enjoy it too. So let me know in the comments down below what other FIFA 10 stuff you would like to see, and smash that like button if you guys enjoyed it, sub if you're new around here. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you all next time.